I snapped when someone rubbed my belly and implied I might be pregnant. So our office building was doing this whole fiesta theme thing today, and they had free tacos and nachos set up in the cafeteria downstairs. Half the office went down there because free food is free food, and we all needed a break from staring at spreadsheets. I was standing in line waiting to grab a plate when I pulled out my phone to check the Nest camera I have set up at home. There's this little brown bird that's been showing up on my porch literally every single day for like 2 weeks now. It just sits there on the railing and looks around. I don't know why, but it makes me laugh every time I see it. So I'm standing there watching this bird hop around, and I just said out loud to nobody in particular, "This bird comes to visit me every day." I wasn't even talking to anyone specific, just one of those random comments you make when you're bored in line. That's when Janet from accounting came up behind me. Janet is one of those people who has been making weird comments about my body for months now. Back in September, she asked if I was eating for two when I got a second cookie at a birthday party. In October, she touched my arm and said I was glowing in a way that made it super obvious what she meant. In December, she straight up asked when I was due. I'm not pregnant. I've gained maybe 15 pounds over the past year because I started a new medication that messes with my metabolism, and I stress eat when work gets busy. That's it. I'm also just built in a way where weight goes to my stomach first. It's always been like that even when I was in high school. But Janet doesn't know any of that, and honestly, it's none of her business anyway. So I'm standing there looking at my phone, and Janet walks up, and without saying a single word, she puts her hand on my stomach and rubs it, like fully rubs it in a circle. And then she goes, "Maybe it's because you've got a baby bird on the way." I felt my whole body tense up. My face got hot. I could feel people around us turning to look. And I just said really loudly, "Don't be wishing that kind of bad luck on me." Janet's hand dropped, and her eyes went huge. She took a step back, and her mouth was literally hanging open. My boss Richard was standing like 3 feet away getting a soda, and he turned around and stared at me with this look like I'd just kicked a puppy or something. The whole line got quiet. Someone coughed. I grabbed my plate and walked past Janet without looking at her and loaded up on chips and salsa. My hands were shaking the whole time. I sat down at a table in the corner by myself and tried to eat, but I couldn't even taste anything. My coworker Andrew came over after a few minutes and sat down across from me. He didn't say anything at first. Then he just went, "That was awkward." I told him what happened. I told him about all the other times Janet had made comments. Andrew nodded and said, "Yeah, that's messed up. You can't just touch people like that." But then like 10 minutes later, my boss came over and asked if he could talk to me outside. We went into the hallway and he said that Janet was really upset and that maybe I should apologize for how I reacted. He said the comment I made about bad luck was harsh and that Janet was just trying to be friendly. I told him she rubbed my stomach without asking. He said, "Well, yeah, but she didn't mean anything by it. You know how Janet is." I said I didn't care how Janet is. Nobody should be touching my body or making comments about it at work. Richard just sighed and said, "Look, I'm not saying you're wrong, but maybe just smooth things over, okay? We don't need drama right now." I walked back to my desk without answering him. I didn't go back to the cafeteria. I ate a protein bar I had in my drawer and got back to work. Janet didn't talk to me for the rest of the day. She walked past my desk twice, and both times she looked straight ahead like I wasn't even there. A couple other people gave me weird looks too. At like 4 in the afternoon, I got an email from HR asking if I could come in for a chat tomorrow morning. No details, just a meeting request. I left work at 5 and drove home. The whole drive I kept replaying it in my head. The way her hand felt on my stomach. The way everyone looked at me after I said what I said. The way my boss acted like I was the problem. When I got home, the bird was sitting on my porch railing again. I watched it through the window for a minute and then I just started laughing. Not because anything was funny, just because the whole situation was so absurd. I texted my roommate about what happened and she said, "Good for you. People need to keep their hands to themselves."